Oh yeah, baby, that is pure horsepower, which is something I think that everyone can love. So, I put together a list of some of my favorite cars you can buy used that have more than 400 ponies in the stable. But this time, bear with me, I want to make sure we threw in some cars that are different than just the cheap cars we always talk about. But they still have that potency that really makes them fast. And one of these is absolutely mind-blowing. Like, I never would have expected this company to make a 400 horsepower car and actually sell it to the public. But we're not gonna start there. We're gonna start with a company that I love to be angry at, Audi. Not an innie, and we're talking about the original RS6. And this land rocket was introduced the same year that your boy was failing English 101, all the way back in 2002.
We tried and we failed.
Damn, I'm old. Anyway, it was meant to compete with the absolutely legendary BMW E39 M5. Now, in my humble opinion, the E39 is a more refined car, which is why I've always wanted to buy one. But any M5 owner will tell you that those Audis are always threatening to run you down. And that's because they have a staggering 440 horsepower.
Understandable.
While the M car only has 400. And 444 horsepower is a number that holds up even in today's lineup of super sedans. And get ready, because this is one of the fastest cars on this list. And well, it's one of the cheapest, which makes it a really good deal if you're one of those speed junkies out there. Just be aware that the reason that they're so cheap is that no one wants to fix them when they break. Not even my friend Trav. And believe me, if you buy one, you may put your mechanics kids through college, and they will break. I mean, Audi, am I right? You'd have to be an ID10T to buy one. Yeah, okay. I love Girth Brooks though. I think I just have a thing for German cars, German food, and German women. Here, we found you a nice RS6 for 16 grand. I mean, what could go wrong? In my opinion, the speed and refinement are unparalleled for the price. But if you're buying one, know what you're getting into. Those turbos are not cheap to maintain. So, for a score out of 10, I'm gonna give the RS6 an 8. And our next car is from a company that I kind of forget about a lot. It's the fancy Nissan brand, Infiniti, and their Q70. Infiniti is kind of like the Buick of Japan. You know they're out there, but you probably don't know much about what they make, right? Well, here's one that you should know about. The Q70 5.6, which it makes a humbling 420 horsepower out of a sweet sounding V8. And it's not even their only high horsepower engine, since they also make the 400 horsepower turbo V6 found in the new Z. So, not bad. And I actually thought about throwing that red Sport on this list, but I found out how much the Q70 has fallen in value. I mean, check this out. When they were new, a Q70 with the V8 was about 65,000 bucks. Now you can get one for less than half that, and it doesn't even have 30,000 miles on the clock. And in my opinion, the Q70 is a great value if you're looking for something powerful, comfortable, and not German. Just be prepared to deal with their less than thrilling automatic transmission. So, I'm gonna give them a 6. Now, how about a truck? Well, it's from Dodge, the king of unnecessary horsepower, and it's called the Ram SRT 10. And you just have to love Dodge. They are pretty much the anti-Tesla. Loud, brash, and not trying to sell you crypto. That's my kind of people. People that need 500 friggin' horsepower, baby. Why? Why does a full-size truck that you really only need for your weekend trips to Home Depot need 500 horsepower? Do I really need to eat an entire pizza by myself? The world isn't about need, it's about living life to the fullest. You know, the ideal lifestyle. And you don't need 500 horsepower, but it will definitely make your life way more exciting. Pick up one of these hot rod pickups for 25 grand, and would you rather get a Raptor for triple that or a Ram SRT? Let us know which one you'd choose in the comments below. And I think that the Ram SRT represents the best of the American excess, and I'm all for it. It is, however, a bit expensive for a truck that I'd be afraid to tow with. so I'm gonna give it a 7. And let's go back to Germany for our next car and talk about the E55 AMG from Mercedes, or as I like to say, Mercedes. A car that I think just looks excellent, which is good because I feel like Mercedes designed one single car in the 90s, and their cars still look kind of the same today, especially if you close one eye and squint with the other. But the 2003 model marked the beginning of the monster 5.4 liter supercharged V8, an engine that really has no business being in an ancient four-door since it makes 470 horsepower. Hey, so what's the German word for yeehaw? I guess it's just yeehaw. And while we're talking about a supercharged ideal purchase like this, take a moment to check out our merch. Yes, we love talking about cars. We love that you love listening to us talk about cars and buying a sweet sweatshirt like this one. Help us keep doing that. And don't worry, you can buy a sweatshirt and still afford an awesome Mercedes. I can guarantee it, since an AMG E55 only goes for like 14 grand. That may be the best dollar to horsepower ratio out there, period. And it is plenty enough power for you to outrun the old man jokes. And I think the E55 AMG is one of the best old Mercedes that you can buy. It's not the absolute worst in terms of reliability, and they sound amazing. But nowadays you'll be the person with the old Merc, so give it an 8. Next up though, how about a Jag? Yes, a supercharged Jaguar XF. This is another car that I just love the looks of, even if I'm not convinced I could put up with the quirky electronics. And that's coming from someone that owns a Jeep in the family. Still, you could probably forgive a lot of the problems when you feel that engine kick in and hear the whine of the supercharger. I'm talking 414 cat power, or horsepower. That is, if you get the 2008 supercharged XF with that 4.2 liter engine. Those are a really great buy, and we found one for just under 20,000 bucks. The 414 horsepower, 4.2 liter supercharged V8 whine. And if you have a few more gold coins to rub together, in 2009, Jaguar introduced the XF with the 500 horsepower 5 liter V8. And I don't think you have to be sad with the older vehicle, but the newer, more powerful one is there if you need it. And personally, I think the Jaguar looks great and makes a ton of power, but it is pretty far from a real sports car. With the reliability issues, I can't give it top marks. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. And moving on, let's get the Australians in on the mix, or at least sort of. In the United States, we got this thing called the Pontiac GTO, or the Holden Monaro to the rest of the world. Pontiac was dying, so they thought adding a 5th generation GTO would save the brand. And guess what? It didn't, and the rest is history. There will be a test, whatever you call it. Now, it's kind of a part spin special because it's got, well, a Corvette engine under the hood. So you know it's gonna be fast, baby. And the one that you actually want is the 05 or 06 version, since those were the ones that had the LS2 motor making 400 horses. Let me tell you, these things are burnout machines. Prices on them fluctuate a ton. I remember when they were like 7 grand. Then you couldn't find one for under 15. Now you can again. Here's one for 12. I did find cheaper, but this one looks like one I'd actually go look at, which isn't actually saying a lot, but it looks like a good deal. And the GTO is the perfect alternative to the C5 Corvette, which I adore. And if you want to stand out a bit more, the GTO has your name on it. And yes, I agree with you. It's not the best car in the world, but hell, I'd love to own one. And getting down to the bottom of our list, or AKA the best cars on this list, let's talk about a Bavarian monstrosity, the M5. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna talk about that nasty V10 M5 engine again, didn't ya? Ooh, it's Brad talking about horsepower. That means he'll recommend the super unreliable E60 M5 again. But now, this time we're talking about the older brother, the E39. First, the E39 handles incredibly well for its size and for it being built in the late 90s and early 2000s. And second, unlike that E60, the V8 powered 400 horsepower E39 M5 is not a ticking time bomb, unlike all the girls I dated before meeting YouTube girlfriend. Just kind of kidding. I didn't have time to date in school. I was too busy working on my BMWs. But unfortunately for you and me, since it's arguably a better M5, the older E39 is more expensive than the E60. You can still get one for under 30 grand if you search hard enough, which means it definitely deserves a spot on this list. And it really is an ideal buy. Hint, hint. Watch the ideal car strategies up here. Because in my opinion, the best M5 ever built was the E39. So you'd be honored to own one. And I'm gonna give it out of 10. Holy crap, I don't know if I've ever done that before. And on to the next car. One that will surprise the hell out of you because, well, take a guess. No, really. Take a guess, because it's a Kia K900 somehow fits in this list. And are you shocked? That quirky little wannabe Honda company from Korea is a serious player nowadays. And thanks to their sister company Hyundai, which rhymes with Sunday. So yeah, say it with me. Hyundai Sunday. They have a 5-liter V8 to play with, and it makes 420 horsepower. 420, nice. Technically, the K900 is a luxury car. It's very close to the car it's based on, the Genesis. So in addition to a great engine, you'll be sitting in comfort if you choose to pick one up. Quite honestly, if you're to ask me, I think you kind of should. Like all luxury cars, it has depreciated like a stock market crash, even more than the Infiniti that we mentioned towards the beginning. I mean, you can get one of these $50,000 cars right now for just $16,000. Just scrape the Kia badge off and let that engine note speak for itself. So, the Genesis, and by extension this K900, is the best value luxury you can get. And the reliability makes it totally worth it. If you're in the market, I'd be hard pressed not to get one. So I'm gonna give it a 9. That's it, video's over. Go watch some of our other videos on other powerful cars that you can buy for cheap. Or did you feel like we missed one here? Well, let us know in the comments below, because these are super fun to make and you guys are the ones that help us make this ideal content. I've been Brad and I will continue to be Brad. So hit the like button and keep living the ideal lifestyle.